Following program does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised. Good afternoon and welcome to the Liquid Green Health Show with your hosts Fred and Janet Cox right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board, send us an email. Our email address is liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, right to your hosts of the Liquid Green Health Show, Fred and Janet Cox.
And good afternoon to our listeners and viewers across Canada, the United States, and around the globe. We are the Coxes, and as usual, you are in for an hour of edutainment designed for information purposes only. So we are here Sunday. Is today Sunday? Today's Sunday,
As
right?
it is every Sunday when we're
Every
here,
Sunday,
yes.
right? And folks, we want to hear from you. So please keep those comments and those email coming into liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. That's liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. And also, please let us know where you are tuning in from. All right. We have a fun-filled hour of information for you. Right. As you know, folks, we're not doctors. We do our best to do our research so that we can bring you information that we think is pertinent to helping you to maintain a healthier lifestyle.
And you know what? We really appreciate the emails we get.
Oh,
That
yes.
say that.
Yes.
That, you know, they realize, they recognize we're not the medical staff, right? We're not the medical experts, but translating and researching.
Yeah, we try to keep it in layman terms, right? You know, not too many, not too many medical jargon that people really don't understand or don't care for. So we try to make it lighthearted and fun but informative, and that's the whole thing. So,
and I even think sometimes you know what you're talking about.
You're kidding. Yeah. I do. I feel so
right?
too. I think so too.
And you're supposed to say, oh, and you too. But no, you don't think like that.
No.
Right? Okay, let's go.
Okay, so what are we talking about today?
You know what we're talking about.
Today, folks, as I said, we have an hour of information that we'd like to, press it down to 20 minutes.
Right. But before we start on our topic, which is magnesium, what a day was today. The whole weekend, actually, right? Lots of things. Our granddaughter Maya had her first athletic sprint tournament. And poor Maya came in last, but as her dad said, she had excellent form.
And she did. Well, look at her running. Yeah.
And the thing is, Maya, she
don't care.
But she's so confident, she just strolled in and she finished the race.
That was the most.
That is what's important.
The most important. She finished the race.
Congratulations for your first tournament and for finishing the job.
Yep.
Wonderful.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. And of course, Biden, we won't go into politics, we never do. But, let's see. The American politics, you have to give them credit. They keep you interested, right?
And a little flavor into the whole thing.
When about Canadian politics, we are here in Canada. It's like,
when did it happen? Yeah, when did it happen?
The whole world focuses
during the election. Yeah.
So
let's see what happens south of the border.
Biden steps down. Let's see if it's Kamala or not, whatever. But anyway,
we'll be watching today, folks. We're talking about magnesium, a powerful mineral that is essential for hundreds of bodily functions. And it's really the cornerstone of optimal health because it is responsible for over 300 enzymatic reactions within our bodies to ensure that we have optimal healthy functioning body. It fortifies our bones, it supports muscle relaxation, it regulates heart rhythm, and it bolsters energy production.
Mhm.
And that makes magnesium indispensable.
Yes.
Yet,
In addition to that, since you've listed some of them, you can also add, I don't think you have nerve function.
yeah, we will get into that.
Yeah, blood pressure because because you have the list, you
Okay.
have bone, right? And it helps with
Lowering
the
blood pressure.
arteries,
Yeah.
right? Oh my goodness. It's like
it is an amazing supplement to take. And if you weren't aware of that, we hope that after this show, you'll have a better understanding, you have better awareness as to why each and every person within our listening audience should be taking magnesium on a regular basis.
Even for myself, I speak for myself. Before doing this research, we talk about magnesium, but when we talk about minerals, because it's not a vitamin, let's get it clear, it's not a vitamin.
It's a trace mineral.
It's a mineral, right?
Yeah.
And whenever you rarely hear about it, every time we talk about minerals, it's usually calcium, calcium for bone, calcium for
or potassium,
potassium. It's hardly magnesium. So I had no idea really that it was that important.
Very important.
And that it affected so many things in the body.
Yeah.
Right?
And yet, despite all of that, it's profound impact on our well-being. Despite its a profound impact on our well-being, magnesium deficiency remains widespread.
Yeah. Most of us just don't get
lack
enough
of information, lack of knowledge. We just don't care. We go around, and we think all is well.
It's called the forgotten mineral.
Yes.
That's what it is.
And so embracing the power of magnesium, folks, it's not just about prevention. It's about unlocking a healthier and more resilient version of ourselves. And with that said, we're going to get into magnesium and what it is, why we should be taking it on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, there are so many different types of magnesium.
And what they
comes in various forms, right? And each type has its specific uses and benefits. And that's what we're going to be talking about, right?
Yes.
And the choice of magnesium that you take really depends on your health condition.
Yeah.
Right.
And what you want to use
and what you want to use it for. So you want to start off, which one you want to start off with?
Well, what I want to say is that magnesium, what they say, it's a cofactor. And I wondered what that meant, but it just means that it has to work. It doesn't work on its own. Magnesium on its own does not get absorbed into the body.
Right.
It has to work with another element. And that's the cofactor. That's what I understand it to be. I don't know if it is, but I think.
And that's why you have magnesium X, magnesium Y, magnesium this. And we're going to get into that.
Let's start with magnesium oxide. Do you have something on that?
Yes, I do. If I could pull that up. Magnesium oxide, here it is.
With that one, because what they say is that's the one that's the cheapest, because their range in terms, their magnesium ranges in terms of how quickly it's absorbed, how effectively it's absorbed using the cofactor enzyme, element, as well as cost.
Okay.
And so the magnesium oxide is usually the one it's the least bioavailable. It does the least for your body.
Okay. And it's not well absorbed as well.
But yet it's the most common because it's the cheapest. When you go to the drugstore and you buy stuff off the shelf and it has the magnesium, that's usually the one that you'll see most
less expensive one.
It's most prevalent because it's cheaper to put into the supplements. All right.
Okay.
So what do you have?
I have on magnesium oxide. Just about what you said. It provides a high dose of magnesium, right? And it addresses deficiencies in the body. Many, as we said earlier,
it addresses
right, and it addresses many features elements in the body. The one I want to go to was magnesium citrate, right?
So before you finish with the oxide, you said it addresses a lot of features. This is my understanding of it. It will not provide relief when you're told you're magnesium deficient,
Yeah.
and you take magnesium oxide, it will not address that problem. That's why you have to look at some of the others.
Okay.
All right, like what's another one?
So it's not as good as, say, citrate.
Right.
Okay.
Magnesium citrate is one of the two better ones. So what do we know about magnesium citrate?
Let me see what I have here. I don't have it in order that you're calling it up.
Okay. Well, what I know is that magnesium citrate is actually bound to citric acid. It's usually, right? That's
why it's
helps
called magnesium citrate.
Yeah, that's how it gets its name. And this is what they'll give you if you're severely constipated, right? Because it's absorbed and it stays in the intestinal tract, right? And it actually uses water through
helps the body to
process
produce
of
water.
osmosis.
Okay.
It will take the water from the stomach, and it overall it does increase the overall magnesium intake into the body, more so than magnesium oxide. It will support stool, right? And what you can do is take some daily, the magnesium citrate.
When you say support stools, what do you mean?
It will help to soften stool.
Okay, that's by allowing the body to put water into the stool.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
And what you should be taking, but most of it, when you take this form of magnesium citrate, most of it is going to be excreted. It's going to be excreted in the stool. So even though you're taking it and it does its work, a lot of it doesn't stay absorbed for that long because it does get excreted when you go to the bathroom. Okay. All right. What else do you have? Anything on it?
Magnesium citrate also helps with muscle function.
Right.
It supports the relaxation and it helps to prevent muscle cramps and spasms. And also it is beneficial for athletes and individuals who experience muscle soreness or tension. It is easily absorbed, as you mentioned. It also has bone health benefits.
Yeah.
Right. It plays a crucial role in bone formation and the maintenance rather. And it can help absorb healthy bones, right? Support healthy bones by improving magnesium levels in the body. It is also good for the nervous system, right?
Yep.
It aids in maintaining healthy nervous system. That's why I think all types of magnesium works, helps to maintain, works well with the nervous system. But this one in particular, as well, there's another one we're going to mention that a bit later that supports the nervous system.
You get, we both get, you sometimes more, but so many people we know have the cramping.
Yes.
Right, the cramping, especially at night, the muscle cramping.
It used to happen to me a lot at night. And since I started taking magnesium on a regular basis, that has subsided.
Yeah, it is amazing how these things work.
Yeah.
And
within a week of taking it, I noticed that, that constant cramping, the leg muscles pulling up, screaming for pain.
Yeah.
Right?
And not just the cramping, like it helps with sleep.
Yeah.
Right. If you're having problems sleeping, most magnesium will help you with sleep, right? Yeah. And as we said, if you have high blood pressure, right, it will help. What's the next one? You want to talk about?
Oxide, magnesium oxide.
We did that.
We did that?
And then we did magnesium citrate.
Yeah.
So do you want to look
magnesium glycinate or glycinate, depends on who's pronouncing it.
Glycinate.
Right. That is also another supplement. You find that in the supermarket.
And that
in the drugstores or in the health food stores, you find that. But that is made from a combination of mineral magnesium, and they use the amino acid known as glycine. So that's why, it got the name magnesium glycinate. That is available in a tablet, gummy, or even in powder forms.
Right. Apparently in powder form, it's really good. and less expensive.
We use that one, right?
We have used it, but the one we were taking recently is the other one we'll talk about.
Okay.
The L-threonate, right? But glycinate, this one we should spend some time on. Because if you listen to the experts and go through the research online, you'll find most doctors,
Will recommend this.
doctors,
Yeah.
this is the one they focus on. Because the price point is right. They say you get the most bang for your buck with magnesium glycinate. Because, as you say, it's bound to glycerin, which is an amino acid, and it improves absorption. So it's one of the magnesium that is going to be the most effectively absorbed in the body. And it works with the constipation like so many of the others done.
Yes.
With high blood pressure, depression, right? It gives you, it's anti-inflammatory. It will help you sleep better. If you have thyroid issues like I do, this is the one we should be focusing on.
It helps to decrease blood sugar and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It ease symptoms. Right. This is one of them. One of them. It eases symptoms of anxiety and, of course, sleep. It apparently all forms of magnesium helps with sleep and helps with stress.
It does, but there is one. Most of them help with sleep, and so you can take them late in the evening. But there is one that we will get to that you should not take after 12, afternoon.
Okay.
Because it's good for energy and it's going to keep you awake. So that one is not the one. But this one, you can take it in the evenings or just before you go to bed. And this will actually give you a really good night's sleep. And we know how important sleep is.
Very important. But there's one thing I found out about this particular brand of magnesium. The supplement is used to prevent and treat low magnesium levels in the blood, but it's also very beneficial for alleviating discomfort related to physical exercise, such as, no, sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. It may be a very good choice, rather, for people with mental health conditions.
Which one?
This,
the glycinate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't know that.
Yeah, because of the
conditions like depression and stuff
anxiety.
like that.
Yeah. This is the one that's most recommended if you want to deal with those issues, right? Because it works with it breaks through the blood-brain barrier, and therefore that's why it's so effective with conditions like that affects cognition.
Okay.
For example, as you say, the anxiety, the depression, and those things, the things you suffer from.
You notice the look. You notice the look, right?
Thank you. Most of our listeners are on Reality Radio 101. They're on radio and not on YouTube.
Not on YouTube. Okay, how about magnesium chloride? What do you have on that one?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Okay, what I have is this is used to prevent and treat low magnesium levels, like just about all magnesium, right? They're used to to treat low magnesium levels in the blood. And it is very beneficial for alleviating discomfort related to physical exercise, such as muscle cramps. This is the one I was reading by mistake earlier.
Okay.
Sports injuries and fatigue, right? So you'll find that athletes would be using this a lot. Additionally, it is often used in topical applications, such as sprays and lotions to relieve muscle soreness.
Okay.
So you're finding a lot of ointments and oils and stuff. They would have magnesium chloride.
That's one I didn't get a lot of information on. But the magnesium L-threonate,
yes,
that's the one
we've been taking recently. And this one, as you know, this is supposedly one of the newer forms of magnesium on the market. This came out, I think, either 2018 or 2019, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And it was 2010, right? It was identified in 2010. And a recent study conducted on 109 healthy adults ages 18 to 65 found that magnesium L-threonate may help with cognitive well-being, specifically memory. And after taking 2 grams of magnesium L-threonate per day for 30 days, adults in the treatment group had significant improvements compared to the group who took a placebo pill.
Okay.
The results were most notable for older participants.
Okay.
Right? Now, this is a fairly new study. Another study, recent study, evaluated the effects of magnesium L-threonate supplementation on cancer patients taking opioids. And the patients who took 1.5 to 2 grams of magnesium L-threonate needed less morphine after 30 to 90 days of supplementation compared to those who took a placebo.
Okay.
Researchers suggested that magnesium, that this supplementation may affect the brain in such a way that pain isn't as intense.
Yeah.
So it
And
has
the good
nothing
thing
to do with
about,
the brain.
The good
Yeah.
thing about this, you know what, I said it before from magnesium glycinate,
Mhm.
but it's really magnesium L-threonate that breaks the blood-brain barrier.
Oh,
That was
okay.
my error. So
Okay.
this is the one that helps with cognition, all the stuff you just said.
Right.
And the good thing about it, you cannot overdose.
No.
The only way you can overdose on most magnesium is if you're lying in your bathtub and you're doing a magnesium bath and let's say you fall asleep.
Mhm.
And it's soaked, it's absorbed by the skin in such high amounts.
Okay.
That's the only, or if you have kidney issues.
Okay.
If your kidney is not working,
And that's what it
functioning
was about.
properly,
Yeah.
then you can actually absorb
Right.
too much magnesium.
Because there is a caution with this particular magnesium L-threonate, and it is advised that if you have diabetes, if you are alcohol dependent, if you have liver disease, if you have something known as PKU, or any other condition that requires you to limit or avoid these substances in your diet, you should consult with your doctor or pharmacist about using this product safely.
Well, actually, I take, you know, I've talked about it on air all the time. The thyroid medication, Synthroid, are also called levothyroxine.
Mhm.
And I just realized that if people out there in my situation with a thyroid condition, you absolutely have to check with the doctor because some of these products, some of the supplements
Will interact.
will react and we don't know how it reacts. So you need to check. There's a whole list of them, but I recognize the one that said levothyroxine because it was close, because it's what I'm taking, right?
Mhm.
And so we were talking about excess, like if somebody were to have excess magnesium, it's the good old kidneys again. It's the kidneys that come in and actually
Flushes out.
flushes it out.
But I think you'll get diarrhea.
You'll
Right?
get
In
diarrhea.
most cases, you'll get diarrhea.
Yeah.
And, you know.
And we talk about levels, like how much to take.
Yeah.
For most, if you're a man, they say about 400 milligrams of most of these types of magnesium. And for a woman, 100 less. So for women, about 100. And children can take it, but again, with kids, you want to check in with the doctors before you put them on magnesium, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
What else you want? Which one you have now?
Um,
Let's talk about chloride.
Before you did that.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Magnesium chloride, I
Yes,
did?
you did.
Yes, I
And you
did.
did.
Sorry.
Okay,
Sulfate. What about magnesium sulfate?
on to another one.
Mhm.
What I want our listeners to know is when you go for a blood test, they check magnesium in your blood. The hospitals do it, the blood test will do it. But guess what? In the blood, there's only 1% of magnesium in the bloodstream. So if you go to the doctor and they checked and they said, oh, your magnesium level is great, it's
There's
not
only 1%. 1%.
because they're checking 1% and the other 99% is not being checked because most magnesium, let me just find it here, forgive me.
It doesn't stay long in the system.
It's not only that, but 30% of magnesium you'll find in your cells, in the cells in the body.
Okay.
But 60% of magnesium is actually found in the bone.
In the bone. Okay.
So if they're not checking,
They're not checking bone density or stuff
they're
like
not
that.
checking the cells and they just check, then they're going to say,
They're not
"Oh,
getting the
you're
real,
fine."
they're not getting the real reading.
Right.
Okay.
Correct. So that's what one day I personally am so interested. I actually gave blood this week and not gave blood, but checked the blood, right? And I asked at the lab, I said, does your lab have a list of tests that's not on the page that the doctors will give? So we need a doctor for this one though. So we're really going, if somebody out there can, if you
Recommend a
can
doctor?
recommend a doctor who would be willing to come on the Liquid Green Health Show and talk to us about the various tests, because when it comes to glucose levels and the vitamin D levels, which in Canada they need
You have to pay.
for.
I went for my
Yeah.
blood test just the other day, and they wanted $46 for the vitamin D, and I told them
Yeah.
I'll come back because they didn't have the cash. for me. So I'll come back.
You have to pay for, and you don't mind paying, but you
Yeah.
want to know, because again, if it's the situation like this with magnesium, that they're testing and they're saying you're fine,
Mhm.
but you're not.
Yeah.
I just wondered, what are the other tests out there that were
They
in
just
that
do the
situation?
preliminaries. Now you were just now you mentioned I think the age group that can take magnesium, right? And I have something here, and it goes from 6 months to 51 years old.
Oh, to
and older. No, 6 months to 51 and older,
Oh, okay.
right?
Okay.
0 to 6 months, 30 milligrams, right?
Okay.
For a male, and female is 30 milligrams.
I wonder
7
what
to
would
12
baby
months.
need it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. 7 to 12 months, 75 milligrams for both genders. 1 to 3 years, 80 milligrams, both genders.
Yeah.
4 to 8 years, again, 130 milligrams. That's for both genders. 9 to 13 years, 240 milligrams. But it changes from age 14 to 18 years. Male, 410 milligrams. Female, 360 milligrams.
And what happens when you're like old, like
Well, it goes on.
yourself?
It goes on 51 years and old. I'll get to that. 19 to 30 years, again, it's a difference. 400 milligrams for male, 310 for female, which is less compared
Right.
to the previous one.
Okay.
30 to 50 years, 420 milligrams for male and 320 milligrams for female. 51 years and older is 420 milligrams for male and 320 milligrams for female.
You know, every time I look at a chart like this, I'm saying, okay, from 31 to 50, right? Or 19 to 30. What happens if you're 30.6 months?
Well,
It's just being funny.
yeah,
Just being
it's
funny.
counted. But
Stationary.
these are averages, right? Folks, remember, we're not doctors. This is just the research that we did, and we just forwarding the information to you.
Yeah.
Before we go on to the next, before we get to email or anything, let me just do some station recognition. Folks, you're listening to the Liquid Green Health Show. We are the Coxes, and we are broadcasting live on Reality Radio 101 today. We do that every Sunday. You can also reach us via email at liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. That's liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. If you'd like to listen to any of our previous shows, just go to Spotify and type in Liquid Green Health Show, and you'll get all of our, previous shows there. So it's the Liquid Green Health Show on Reality Radio 101. And today our conversation is about magnesium, the importance of taking this trace mineral, and the different types of magnesium that is available.
Okay, before you go on to the emails, we are going into the emails. The one came in earlier this week from Robert, and he basically asked, do we have, he says, hi, Liquid Green Radio Show. Where are your past shows listed?
I think I responded to that.
You did, but
yeah.
I think if people are asking, that means if one person asks, it represents at least 50.
Yeah. As I said, you could go to Spotify and just type in Liquid Green Health Show. You can also go to YouTube and do the same thing. Type in Liquid Green Health Show, and all of our shows will come up on that.
But if you're in your car and you want to listen,
Spotify.
Or can you put in Reality Radio? But you won't get the past show.
No, you won't get it on the
Okay.
Reality Radio is just for the live broadcast. But if you want to listen to it in your car or on your phone, if you just want to listen, it's Spotify. Just type in Liquid Green Health Show and you'll get it there. Okay. You want to do the email now?
Okay, sure. Why not? Let's look at some. Rita, oh my goodness. Frederick, folks are still asking, hey, is Janet still doing any spectacular things this summer? Is she doing the edge walk on the CN Tower? Frederick, would you do that with me?
No.
No, I'm serious. I haven't done it, but I've spoken to people who have done it,
Yeah.
and they think it's fantastic.
Actually, it's not bad. I'm not afraid of heights once it's protected.
So would you
In
do
that case, yeah, I'll do
Okay.
it. But
Gary,
do you have a lanyard strapped onto you or something?
Yes, Mike, Gary,
you-
would you do that?
They do advertising here.
Mm-hmm.
I know they've been, yeah. So I know all about it.
Yeah.
And I would do it. The only thing I have to watch it is, even though I would have no issue with it, people with heart conditions, they don't like to have
The
it out
height.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would do it, but if I was honest about my medical conditions, they might tell me no.
Right. Okay.
Don't look down.
Mike, you've done skydiving. I know this would be a piece of cake for you.
Yeah, I probably would do it. I've been up to the CN Tower a couple times, and like Fred was saying, if you're protected and you have the proper safety harnesses, shouldn't be no issues at all.
Okay, so that's an easy one. So yes, I wonder how expensive it is.
I don't know.
Like skydiving was not cheap.
It's
eh?
$175, and that
Really?
includes a small video or picture that they give you.
Okay.
That's cheaper than skydiving. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you think they'll give me a break on the Liquid Green Health Show? I said, oh, I know Gary.
Well, you know what you can do is have them advertise on your show and get free tickets.
Yeah, we
Okay,
could do
great.
that.
All right. So
Okay.
thank you for asking, Rita. Okay, next.
You want to go to Helen? Okay, Helen says, this one is from Helen, and she says, you are the best show out there. I mean it. And thank you very much for that, Helen.
And guess what? We agree. And she has it in really big letters.
I have
so,
no qualms with that. I have no qualms
I'll
with
take
that.
that. Thank you. Okay. And
Cameron, you want to do Cameron?
okay, go ahead.
Okay. I'm seeing the names and I'm not clicking on them. Hey, Coxes, congrats on your granddaughter.
Oh, Maya.
And then he ends off with a
It's
thing.
fine.
I won't even read that. I don't know why you're saying that, but it has nothing to do with us. But and Carla says, Carla Coxes, thanks for the advice. I need to give a friend of mine some magnesium citrate since he is full of SHIT.
This is, you know what? This is too funny. The way it's translated, but
Yeah.
in reality, you are correct.
Yeah.
I know you're making a joke.
Get it out of him. Get it out of him,
Get-
man.
Get him
Get
the
it out.
magnesium
Load him up with it.
citrate.
Load him up with it.
All right.
Will Smith here says, Biden needs to take this.
Magnesium. Okay. Next.
Next. Okay, one more and then we'll go back to our
Yeah.
show, right? And Jim says, when we think of magnesium, we usually think of a metal out of the ground. This is very good info today. Do we need to supplement this or just take a multivitamin that has it? Thanks.
Okay, so we will get back to the show and we'll talk about that.
Yes.
Because
It's a very interesting
most of-
question.
not the multivitamin, because it's gonna have such a small amount of magnesium.
Yeah. And like you
it's gonna
mentioned,
be no good.
like you mentioned earlier, most times when we talk about supplements, we do not reference magnesium.
Right.
People talk about vitamins, take
You
vitamins.
see it added on the back of the bottle, it will have the elemental amount of magnesium.
Yeah.
And it's usually so small, and it's usually magnesium oxide.
Mhm.
So the ones what we can't recommend because we're not doctors.
And we don't know what's
But
your health condition.
The research shows that the magnesium glycinate is
Yeah.
probably one of the better ones to take,
Yes.
right? And we'll mention also, you can get it. I'll do that right now, actually. You can also get magnesium in your food
Mhm.
because mostly
In the food and water that we
water.
drink. Yeah.
Because mostly, Frederick, we know 100 years ago,
Mhm.
the water, the
It's
groundwater.
much
was
better
different.
quality than you're getting now.
Yes. Now, because of all the junk in the water,
Yes.
they have to filter
Filter so much, and in doing that,
out
they filter out a lot of the
of
good,
the magnesium
a lot of
and
the good
all the
properties.
minerals.
Yeah.
So now you have to add it back.
Yeah.
And they have done studies. They've done such studies in Sweden. They've done studies in Israel where they have used 2 different types of water. Like water, they've kept the lakes, the groundwater with the minerals, and then in some other towns they've done it without, and then they have checked.
Yeah.
And people who use the water, that's the natural water with the minerals, usually live about an extra year longer, and they avoid heart problems.
Yeah, even
Right?
the bottled water that you're buying, you look at the ingredients. I'm looking at this one here. It doesn't mention anything about magnesium because they filter them.
Right.
Right? It is so heavily filtered that just about all of it is gone. But there's a certain percentage of magnesium that is in waters. It's like 10%, I think. Something like 10% of magnesium that we get in the drinking water today.
Okay.
And what is it, 30% in food or something like that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have it somewhere.
But what I do know, if you're taking food, for example, almonds.
Yeah.
Almonds are rich in magnesium, but here's the deal. You would have to eat about 5
hell of
cups
a lot of it.
almonds, right? So not just a handful, but like, because for every cup of almonds, you have like 78 grams of magnesium. For spinach, magnesium comes from the chlorophyll. So anything green, you're going to get magnesium from it, correct? But again, for spinach, for example, you would have to eat like 5 handfuls of spinach to get the amount. Beans, you can get magnesium from beans. Guess how many cups you'd have to eat?
About 4.
10 cups
Whoa.
to get the amount of magnesium you need.
That's a lot of gas in the house, man.
And chocolate, you could do this. Chocolate bars,
I love
right?
chocolate,
The cacao, the brown chocolate.
But no, I disagree with that. I'll tell you why. Because the chocolate that they're talking about is not the one you buy in the store. It's not the processed chocolate.
This is good chocolate. This is the brown.
Yeah, but even
chocolate.
that, right? Because it depends on the process that it goes through.
No, but the dark chocolate, we know that anything that is processed, including the processed chocolate, the ones that we love, the O. Henry.
Yeah, that's nothing. That's nothing.
We're not talking about
that's just sugar.
But even with a good chocolate, to get the amount of magnesium, you would have to eat about 4 bars of this chocolate. So for that person who asked, how else can they get the magnesium? Definitely, the supplementation is usually the most common, the most effective way.
I'll get some
and
tamarind.
That's why we're talking about
Get some tamarind.
But again, you're going to have to eat so much of it. I'm sure any food out there, you will have to eat so much. And you know what tamarind does?
Yeah.
Flatulence.
Flatulence. But it's good. That's because it has a lot of magnesium in it. Right.
Yeah. And most of the magnesium you take, even from food, 30 to 40% of it will never get absorbed.
Right.
And as it says, 80% of it, if you're just eating the junk food, the burgers, all the stuff out there from the package and the tins, you're losing 80% of magnesium.
That is why you have to take it so consistently, because it doesn't stay long in the system. And what you're getting, the body's not absorbing all of it.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
So you want to go to, did we talk about sulfate, magnesium sulfate?
No, that will be the next one.
Right. Now this, again, commonly known as Epsom salts, right? Okay. And if you're a kid from the Caribbean, you know that your parents, at certain times of the year, they would load you up with Epsom salts, awful tasting thing, and then you have to live by the toilet.
Yeah.
Right? Because it is often used, this particular magnesium supplement is often used in baths to relieve sore muscles and relieve stress, right? It is used short-term relief for constipation as well, right? And it is also used, as a soaking solution to relieve minor pains. When you get a sprain or you come home tired and sore, you always say, take a bath in Epsom salts.
So you put in some magnesium. I have a funny story. For anybody listening from Westwood High School, where we went to a girls' boarding school. I'll tell you a funny story. And what we used to do at night, girls' boarding school, there's a lot of mischief. And Donna Lois, you'll get a kick out of this one, because I went to school in the 60s. Everybody knows how old I am.
You're old, man.
I have no problem saying how old we are, right? How old I am.
You.
But it's okay. I'm old, but I look good. So that's fine, right? We used to, at night, we had the bathrooms were outdoor, the out toilets, right?
Mhm.
We did have some flush toilets, but you would have to go for, depends on which dormitory you were in, you would have to go down quite a few steps. In Jamaica at night, in the hills,
Nobody's doing that.
it is very dark.
Yeah.
And there, we didn't have, we weren't really encouraged to leave the dormitory at night. So we were given what they would call a chamber pot. But we at Westwood called it the article. All
Mhm.
right. We never called it a chamber pot. So it just sounds better. You could use the article at night to pee. And what we did, we used to put the magnesium, not the magnesium, the Epsom
Epsom
salts
salts in it.
in it.
Mm.
And then, when a girl got up to use it, it would
Froth up.
overflow, right? And then everybody would just burst out laughing. You would do that to
You got
somebody
caught.
that you had a problem with,
You got
right?
caught.
So I don't know. I don't know if they do it in the army, but we did that at Westwood, and I still remember.
Now,
Okay,
do
so
you know
were
that they
saying-
give
Mhm.
magnesium sulfate in the hospital? They give it to
Okay.
patients,
Mhm.
right? Because it helps to maintain a normal heart rhythm. And
Okay,
doctors sometimes
arrhythmia.
administer it intravenously
Okay.
in the hospital to reduce the chance of
Yeah.
fibrillation
Yeah.
and cardiac
Atrial
arrhythmia.
fibrillation. Yes.
Right?
And that's what people should never try to do on their own.
Mhm.
Because if you're trying to do that to increase your magnesium level through any kind of injection, that should never, because that's one of the ways that you can overdose.
Okay.
So that absolutely, you need to do that procedure in a hospital under the guidance of a doctor.
Have you ever
Mhm.
heard about a colon nuclear bomb?
No.
Well, a colon nuclear bomb
Mhm.
is a combination of sodium sulfate, potassium sulfate,
Mhm.
and magnesium sulfate.
Wow, okay.
It is used to cleanse the colon before a colonoscopy.
Okay.
This medicine is indeed a laxative, and it works by
Okay,
causing you to
yes.
have diarrhea to clean your colon.
And we have anybody over 50.
And you grew up in
It
the
is-
Caribbean.
No, it is recommended that we do the colonoscopy. I know a friend just called and he's over 75 and he said, I'm having one for the first time because he would normally do the one where you do the stool test,
Yeah.
right? But he's never done the colonoscopy. So I'm glad he's doing it now because he's a very good friend. And folks out there, if you're listening, that is one of the things that I think it's just a good thing to do for your health and for
I don't
your
know.
colon. And I know
I have
doing it.
mixed.
I did it at about age 55.
Yeah.
I haven't had another one since because then, it really does work, the colonoscopy, because it tells you, do you have any polyps? How big are they? How small are they? And they can actually help to prevent development of cancer.
Yes,
later on,
yeah, I
if you
agree.
find it
I agree with
early
all that.
enough.
But I always believe in if you take the right type of nutrition and you take the right type of supplements, you won't have a problem.
No, I disagree to some extent. Because yes, you can be perfect and you eat right, etc. But after certain ages,
But not because you have polyps means it's that
No,
you
but
have cancer.
I didn't say that. I said
Or
it's the
it would be a problem.
precursor.
It would be a problem.
It is the precursor. That's why they do it, because everything is about prevention.
Yeah.
So if they can see something that's going to prevent it, then it's a good thing.
But
So
what I'm
I
saying
think
is
it's a
not
good thing to
because
do.
you do a colonoscopy and they find polyps, it means it's dangerous.
Frederick, you're not listening
Everybody
to what
has
I'm saying.
polyps. Everybody will have polyps.
But if they find one that is of concern, then they have the ability to work with you to address the issue so it doesn't develop into cancer. I'm not saying if they found a small polyp that you have cancer. That's not what
I'm just saying it's not necessary.
Did you do one?
No, I'm not going to do it either.
You did one, but I had to force you and coerce
I don't
you to
remember
do it.
doing it.
You did it. You did it about 2-3 years ago. You should have done it long ago. You eventually did it. Thank heavens we know you're good, right? So don't discourage people from doing
I'm not
this because
discouraging
it's a
people.
good
I'm
one.
just saying that I don't think it's necessary.
You don't think it's necessary. The doctors think it's necessary. I'm going to air with the
Yeah, but
doctors on
doctors-
this case.
But doctors
In
say
this case, yes.
doctors said it's necessary to take some medications that's not necessary.
Don't go there. We're going to
Right. I don't
They
believe
do
everything the doctor says.
disagree on this one.
Yeah, I disagree with my doctor in many cases.
I hope somebody will write in on this one. Hold on, let me see. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and you know, the research we did, it also says do not use magnesium sulfate as a laxative without medical advice.
Right.
If you have severe stomach pain, nausea, vomiting, or perforated bowels, bowel obstruction, severe constipation, colitis, toxic megacolon, I don't know what that is, or a sudden change in bowel habits that has lasted for 2 weeks or longer, do not take magnesium sulfate. All right.
But yet they give it, and I mean, when you,
It is given to induce.
Go back to that again.
Yeah.
It is thorough. You have to drink a lot of water
yeah.
because that has to flush the system, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, folks, if you're joining us for the first time or you're joining us late, you are listening to the Coxes on Reality Radio 101. And today we're just taking it easy. We're talking about magnesium, the importance of magnesium, why you should really take a serious look as to your magnesium intake. And depending on your health conditions, there are various types of magnesium that will fit that condition. So this is Reality Radio 101, and we have another 15 minutes to go and still a lot of information to give to you.
There is one, I forget which one it was, that it's, well, in general, one of the things I learned is that if you're taking magnesium, you have to also watch your calcium.
Yes.
Because they work in tandem.
They work in tandem, yes.
In tandem, right? So if you're taking it, if like calcium will deplete magnesium, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, I should go back and double check. Perhaps somebody can check and let me know. But the ratio between calcium and magnesium is important, right?
But they can be taken together.
Yes,
Okay.
and you right. For example, if you're going to take magnesium, you have to make sure your calcium level is addressed.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the ratio is, but I know they work together.
What I normally do, I will take my magnesium and then I'll take my calcium, my liquid calcium together.
Do you remember which one of the magnesiums deals with pain? I know most of them do, but there's one that they actually works as a pain receptor blocker.
Yeah.
Go ahead with the
I think
magnesium.
taurate. I think it might be taurate. I'm not sure, but I'll get to that. Malate, magnesium malate, right? Do you have anything on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a type of magnesium that is a compound of magnesium and malic acid.
That's what it's bound with.
Yeah.
Right.
And some evidence suggests that it is highly bioavailable and that people tolerate it well.
And when they say it's bioavailable, that means the body can easily absorb it.
Yeah.
And usually it's absorbed throughout the whole system.
Yeah.
Not just the brain, not just the gut, right? But it's available for the whole body.
For the whole body, right? And it can help with chronic fatigue and muscle pain. Okay. So maybe this is the one but there's another one.
This is the one for if you have fibromyalgia with fatigue, right? That I think this is the one that helps with that.
There's another one that works very well with pain, and I can't remember which one it is. Hopefully we can get to it before the end of the show.
Right.
Right. Magnesium lactate, right? Again, this is another type of compound of magnesium that is bonded with lactic acid. It is a naturally occurring mineral that is needed in the body to support the function of the heart, the nervous system, just like
for heart health.
Threonate,
yeah,
right? It works with the nervous system and the digestive system.
Right.
But this has some side effects, right? Like all of them. Again, it's diarrhea, bloating. You may get gas, or you might have a little bit of upset stomach, right? Now, we're talking about magnesium and the different types of magnesium. But one of the questions is how to choose a magnesium product.
Okay.
Right? A lot of people want to know, well, okay, with all this magnesium you're talking about, how do you choose the right one? Right? Now, there are some factors that you should take into consideration when choosing magnesium products. It's important to consider how much magnesium a person already consumes in their diet, right? We know different types of foods have different levels of magnesium. The greener the food, the more magnesium.
The chlorophyll, as we say,
Right.
brother.
Okay. Whether a supplement or topical product is necessary, right? Whether you want to digest it or you want to put it on your skin, all right? How much additional magnesium a person needs, that you probably may have to talk to your doctor or your health practitioner.
They have to run the test.
Got to run the test. And remember, it's not just a blood test, right? You got to get a test with the bones and stuff like that.
Yeah. And we have talked about how much we should take so
Right.
we can move on.
And which one do you prefer? Do you prefer a topical or an oral form, right? Not everybody can handle powder, tablets or capsules.
Or a powder.
Or even the powder. So, and this may help you in choosing a product that will be safe and effective. Now, the recommended dietary allowance, the RDA of magnesium, is 400 to 420 milligrams.
Yeah, we did that.
We did that, right?
About that for all the ages,
right?
The male and female,
right?
etc.
So,
we have a few more emails. Can we get to that?
Yeah, if you have time.
More.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Francis says there is a new food. I bet this is a joke. I'm going to read it. He says, "Hello to Coxes. Here's a new food. And it's identified, doctors have identified a food that can cause grief and suffering years after it's been eaten. It's called,"
I don't know, I'm not reading.
It's called,
wedding cake?
Wedding cake. That is actually quite funny. I think, Francis, I hope you're still married.
Okay, here's one from Holly, and Holly is saying, "Hey Coxes, good afternoon from New York City. Is magnesium a solid or a liquid? Thank you."
It's a pill. So we just talked about that. So it's both.
Yeah.
You can take a supplement, which is a powder. You can take a supplement in pill form. And of course, if you're taking the powder, then it actually it becomes a liquid, right? So.
And here's a funny one from Monica. Monica says, "We still need to drive after taking magnesium. I know that Tesla car batteries have a lot of magnesium in them."
But you know what? Somebody said, earlier, one of the emails about magnesium coming from the ground and the minerals, where we are a microcosm of the universe.
Yes.
What do we have? We have all the minerals. We have zinc.
Yeah.
Potassium.
That's why you need
nitrogen.
To take them constantly, because you need to fortify the body.
Yeah,
because you have it.
Everything. Right. The only thing
the reason
we think our body we don't have gold, and we don't have silver.
And there's a reason, because a lot of us will be dead. Right?
Well, a lot of us
rob you for the gold that you have. But what I'm trying to
gold in the teeth, right?
Well, yeah.
A lot of guys and friends with a lot of gold.
Idiots. But what I'm trying to say, the reason why we have to take it on a regular basis is that we are an abstract of the earth. And because we were removed from the earth, right? What we have in our bodies will eventually be depleted. So you have to constantly keep renewing. Here's one from Evan. And Evan
says,
go ahead.
This one, "The Cox's show is fantastic. Thank you, Evan. Again, I'm going to agree with you. So much great info today. We're learning a lot here in, Erie, Pennsylvania.
We passed through there the other day, didn't we?
Thanks for this information. And we really appreciate when you write in and say that, because, it does take time, right? To compile the information, to put it together. And so we're happy when you appreciate it. Fred?
Now, this person, this is directed to me, and we got to get a screener, right? Got to get this one is from Dave. And Dave says, "Since colonoscopy is totally painless, why wouldn't anyone take it? It can save your life. Don't be a pussy."
You can't say that on the air. You didn't have to read that part.
Of course,
but Fred,
you can say that.
It's like, can we see the thing? Okay.
Yeah. That was from Dave.
I'm so glad Dave agrees, because most times everybody thinks Fred is everything you say is correct.
But that's my opinion.
Your opinions are usually valued on the show.
It's right to me.
But in this case, at least we have somebody who agrees
to disagree with me.
Yeah, it's like yoga.
Yeah.
Why today I did yoga today, and honest to goodness, folks, I never worked so hard. I was sweating. My clothes were like soaked, right? So he actually said today that I think I'll try a class.
Yeah,
we will.
But you don't know if I meant it, right? I just said it, you know. So anyway, let's get back to what we're talking about. There's another magnesium that's called taurate, right? And
I don't think you have time.
Yeah, I have some time. This magnesium, it combines with an amino acid that's known as taurine, which can have benefits for the heart.
Okay,
right?
and here, before you continue with that one, we just read one that just came in. Don't like to miss them. David says, "What about bananas and magnesium? Are they good enough to take for? Are they good enough to take for magnesium? They have almost 40 milligrams of magnesium in a large banana. Thank you. Usually we associate bananas with potassium.
Okay, yes.
More so than magnesium.
Yeah, but the bananas that you buy in the supermarket, I put no credence on the nutrients in them.
Right.
Because those things are, they are grown with a lot of pesticides.
Yeah. And it destroys a lot of the
and
good
there are different types of bananas that we will get in the Caribbean or even in parts of Central and South America that are much better quality and have more and are more nutrient dense than the bananas that you get in the supermarket. So to answer that, I would say
get it from the supplement.
Yeah,
supplement,
much
not
better
the
off.
banana.
Not the banana.
Yeah, banana is usually
it's nonsense. Okay, so we're running out of time, folks, and we really don't have a lot of time. I'm going to get right down. There's something here I wanted to talk about.
Or the
orotate, magnesium orotate, often used by athletes. I think this is the one you were talking about.
That's really expensive.
Yeah, magnesium orotate can support heart health and improve exercise performance.
Usually, athletes use this high performance.
Yeah, high performance athletes.
And the lay person, the average person who is not into, you don't want to
heavy
increase
sports,
that. Right.
They don't need to.
If we're wrapping up, and I think if you take away anything from this, is we've talked about the main ones. There are so many different types.
Yeah.
We cannot get through all of them, but the main one, if you're going to tomorrow to the health store to get one, look for the magnesium glycinate.
Glycinate, biglycinate it's called.
That's the one, or an alternative. I'm going to start doing this probably when we buy
you mentioned
the package, the magnesium citrate. It comes in a packet. And you can just use a small amount in your water every day, and that also is enough. It will take care of all the magnesium the body needs.
Right.
It throughout the
as
entire
long as
body.
and
it does help with the stool, and it does help with.
And it doesn't matter what the magnesium supplement you're taking is bonded with, as long as you get magnesium, the right amount into the body on a regular basis, you are going to be, increasing the magnesium levels in the body. Right now, for individuals with kidney problems, you should avoid magnesium supplements unless it's advised by your doctor.
Kidney problems.
Right, that's what I mean, kidney problems, right? As impaired kidney function can affect magnesium excretion and lead to toxicity. So you got to be very careful, right? Low magnesium levels can cause health issues as well. And surprisingly, deficiency can be common. If you are considering a magnesium supplement, there are a few things to remember. Stick to the optimal dose and do not exceed any recommended intakes. Taking magnesium alongside any other key nutrients can be more advantageous than taking it alone. As we mentioned, magnesium with calcium,
with something,
right?
Because if not,
you can also take magnesium in transdermal form. That is like if you're taking a patch, okay, or you're taking it in ointments. All right, because the skin is going to absorb it. And that's particularly beneficial to those who regularly exercise. Magnesium begins to take effect after 1 week 1 week of consistent supplementation, folks. So
and
don't take it for one day and think it's going to
Gonna
work.
work.
You got to take it
And,
on a regular
I
basis.
think we have to wrap up here.
My
but-
gosh, yes.
What I wanted
I can
to
hear the
say
music, so
is,
I don't think you have time for that.
they're
Folks,
not all created equal.
no,
the
they're not all,
supplements,
not
so
at all
be
of them.
careful.
So, folks, with that, we have to wrap up. We are at the end of our show. We want to thank you. We want to thank our producers. And remember, good health is at the core of human joy and overall well-being. Its influence is profound, extending beyond personal vitality to significantly bolstering prosperity and economic advancement. Thus, investing in your health is akin to investing in a brighter, more prosperous future for ourselves and the community we inhabit. Until next Sunday, folks, same time, same station, prioritize your well-being. This is Janet and Fred saying,
let's
stay healthy on Reality Radio 101.
Thank you for listening to the Liquid Green Health Show with your hosts, Fred and Janet Cox, right here on Reality Radio 101.